Hi everyone, and thank you so much for clicking on my channel. We have arrived at another Foundation Friday, and I'm super excited about today because the foundation that I have for you is supposed to be like extreme coverage, fullest of the full coverage, but also very natural looking. I really hope that it's everything that it is supposed to be, because that would be amazing. So today I have for you the Dermacol Film Studio makeup cover. I've seen this floating around on YouTube and had a difficult time getting my hands on it for a decent price, because as it has become more popular, the price kept shooting up and up and up and up on Amazon. But I was able to snag it on eBay for around $15. So the box is mostly in Arabic, but the part that I can read says that it is waterproof, has an SPF of 30, and that it's hypoallergenic. So this is the actual packaging. It comes in just like a little tube. Nothing too fancy or crazy. I mean, it is gold, so that's really cute. I have the color 208, which I'm a little concerned about because I bought this like a month ago, and I've spent almost every day outside by our pool since then. Even though I wear tons of sunscreen, I still am more tan now than I was when I originally purchased this. So I have a feeling it's gonna be way too light on me. It will probably be a good shade for me in the winter months when I'm like super, super pale. As you can tell, I don't already have any makeup on, so I'm gonna kind of just jump right into this. I have already washed, moisturized, and primed my face. I am doing something a little bit different with primer. On the right side of my face, I'm wearing my Professional Matte Rescue. And on the left side of my face, I'm wearing my Smashbox Photo Finish. It's the oil-free pore minimizing one. So I kind of want to test and see which primers work best with certain foundations. One of the things that I've heard about this foundation is that you just need the teeniest, tiniest amount, and it goes a long way. There's a seal over the tip here, and the cap has kind of like a pokey thing to open it. Oh, whoa. Oh, okay, well that just kind of like shot out there. If this is as full coverage as it claims to be, this is like probably 20 faces worth of makeup that just shot out all over my hand. I'm trying to wipe it off my hand, but whoa, that is some serious coverage. I think I'm gonna have to go wash my hands. I'm gonna just go scrub this off. I'll be right back. Well, I can tell you that its claim of being waterproof is definitely true, because I just used 3 full pumps of soap to try to get this off of my hands, and it's still a little bit there. Somebody's texting me. I'm just gonna use like the tiniest amount because I think that's probably all I need. I'm going to apply half of my face with a brush and the other half with a sponge as usual. Ooh, all right. Well, it is too light for me right now, but you know, I think I can make that work. As far as coverage goes though, whoa. I don't see anything coming through. I don't see any of my freckles. I don't see any pigmentation from any blemishes. I mean, obviously you can see the texture from the blemishes, but whoa. I'm just gonna put a tiny bit more on my forehead, my nose. So I used the rest of what was left on my finger just to get started on this side, and I'm going to use my sponge to blend this out. So my initial thoughts are that it's a little bit trickier to blend out with the sponge, but I like the way that it's sitting on my skin a little bit better with the sponge versus doing it with the brush. So I'm just going to try blending it out with the brush initially and then going over it with my sponge to just kind of smooth everything out. coverage on this is insane. This is very full coverage, covered everything, everything. And now that I've gone over everything with my sponge, it's looking really smooth. I don't see anything on the box, at least in English, that indicates what kind of a finish it is. But as I'm looking at it, I think it's more of like a satin matte finish. It's definitely more on the matte side, but not completely matte. So far it hasn't started settling in anywhere. It's not creasing. It's not caking up. It's 2:11 right now, so I'm going to jump off camera and do the rest of my makeup really quickly, and I will be right back. It is now 2:29, so I just went ahead and just did kind of a quick face of makeup, nothing dramatic or anything like that. This foundation has only been on for like 15 or 20 minutes, but my under eye is already starting to like crease really bad, so I think next time I would try a different concealer with this foundation. There's a couple spots that I just don't love the way that it's sitting on my skin, right around my nose. I feel like it hasn't really settled into my pores though. Like, I kind of feel like it's emphasizing my pores. It especially seems like it's emphasizing my pores on this side, and this is the side that I use the Smashbox primer on, so I think it is more of a primer issue than a foundation issue. It is already settling into my smile lines, and there's one little weird spot right here on the top of my forehead, which I've never ever had an issue with any foundation looking weird there. Hopefully that's all gonna just kind of smooth out as my natural oils kind of come out in my T-zone. Other than that, I don't really have any complaints. It looks really nice, it looks really smooth. It definitely is full coverage. Also, I did find like a little pamphlet inside the box that I didn't realize was there, and it does tell me more about the foundation. So it says that it has a unique creamy consistency that contains 50% pigments. So it hides uneven skin color and blemishes, it smooths the skin. There's a lot of typos in this, like they don't know how to speak English, obviously. But I'm just going to read through those. It smooths the skin and gives it a velvety matte appearance. So it is supposed to be like a velvety matte finish. It provides the skin with intense protection against UV radiation. It says that it has a long-lasting effect, and it's ideal for covering minor flaws or extensive skin defects, such as dark circles under the eyes, scars, spots, loss of pigment, and blemishes. Suitable for all skin types. My next check-in will be in about 4 or 5 hours in natural daylight, so you can see what it looks like in that lighting. And I will see you guys in a little bit. It's now 6:30 p.m. So I've had this foundation on for about 4 hours, 4.5 hours-ish. I'm gonna try to do this fast because I've got my 2 girls with me, and if you're a mom, you just know. Quite honestly, I'm pretty disappointed in this foundation at this point. I just think it looks pretty cakey. I thought that I put such a tiny amount of foundation on, but I went back and watched some other videos of some other YouTubers using it, and they used even less than me. So I'm wondering if I just used too much, but it just looks super cakey. My under eye area is creasing really bad. I feel like too, because it's such a thick consistency, maybe I didn't work it into my skin well enough, because if you look really closely, it just hasn't really settled into my pores. I feel like it's sitting on top of my pores. Which is causing it to, of course, look really cakey. I look a little bit shiny, but I don't look like an oil slick, so I suppose that's a plus. I'm gonna give this a few more hours, and maybe something magical will happen in the next 4 hours, but I was really hoping this foundation was gonna like wow me and exceed all my expectations, but so far it has disappointed me so much and not met any of my expectations. Except for being full coverage. It is full coverage, just don't get close to anybody. Don't get close to anybody. You know, stay far away and it looks great. Far away looks great. Close up, not so good. So I'll check in with you guys in a few hours and let you know how it wears throughout the rest of the day. It is 9:02 p.m. right now. Normally I would do this last bit on my phone, but I just need you guys to trust me when I say that this looks so bad. It looks so bad right now. Like, The crazy thing is that Manny MUA just today came out with a review for this. I just watched it like a half an hour ago, and it looked so different on him than it does on me. Like when I first put it on, it looked almost matte, and as I started like watching other reviews about this, it is not supposed to be a matte foundation. Like, I'm beginning to think that I bought a fake. I am really starting to think I bought a fake because it just does not look good on me. It is so cakey and creasy. It looks so bad. Like, I just want to take it off so bad. Either I did something very wrong in applying this foundation, or I bought a fake. Like, there's just no way around it. Everything about it, the finish, the cakiness, it's nothing like any of the other reviews that I have seen about it. I just feel like somewhere along the way, something went very wrong. If it is something that I did, then I'm gonna do something very different next time. I'm gonna wear this again tomorrow. I'm gonna use a different primer. I'm gonna use way less product, even though I thought I was using a tiny amount. I'm gonna use way less product. I'll keep you guys updated if I find some sort of combination of primer and concealer and setting spray that works with this foundation. So don't forget to check out the description box below. I will have all the updates, and any information about the product will be linked down below. But yeah, I bought it off of eBay, and I mean, there's a real chance that I could have got a fake. I just feel like it emphasizes every single pore on my face. Even though I used 2 different pore minimizing primers, like, it didn't matter, both sides equally, it just emphasized my pores so badly. Plus, it settled into all of my fine lines, like, really bad. It just looks so cakey. If this is the original formula, then I am not a fan. But because I am feeling so disappointed with the way it turned out, and I'm so convinced that I must have done something wrong after watching everyone else's reviews, I'm gonna try this again. I'm going to do my best to make this work. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You are all amazing. I love you all so much, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye-bye. So I decided to come back on here today and give you guys a little bit of an update. I thought it would be easier than typing everything out in the description box, although I probably will still do that. So I filmed the review yesterday, but I wanted to wear the foundation again today with a different primer, a different concealer, and just let you know kind of what the deal is. So right now it's 11:28, and I just finished putting my foundation, concealer, and powder on. Whoa, creasy eyelids. I'm just gonna wear this for a few hours around the house today. I don't have any plans until later tonight, which I will probably change my foundation for, since this one is really too light for me. I don't want to go out in this. So right now it is wearing so much better than when I applied it yesterday. And what I did differently was, first of all, I used my Magic Lumi primer by L'Oreal, which is an illuminating primer, rather than using my mattifying primers, because I feel like that just made the foundation look more dry yesterday. And secondly, the thing that I did, which I think made a huge difference, is I applied it just with my sponge and I worked it into my skin. I probably pushed the product into my skin for like a good 4 or 5 minutes. Now, I don't think it blends out the easiest with the sponge. I do think that applying it with the brush makes it blend out easier because it is such a thick foundation. But I didn't like the way that it kind of sat on my skin and settled on my skin applying it with the brush. So I did use my damp sponge, and it took a little bit more effort to blend it out and to work it into my skin. But now that I've done that, it's just sitting on my skin so nicely. I just think that yesterday when I applied it, I didn't really work it into my skin enough because I'm just not used to a foundation that's this thick, this high coverage. I've never used a product like this. So as I'm looking at it right now in the mirror, it's not doing that weird thing that it was doing on my pores yesterday when it kind of just looked like it didn't, when it kind of just looked like it wasn't in my pores. I really made sure that I worked it into my pores, which kind of sounds gross, but that's the way that you're going to get the most flawless, even texture and coverage on your face with foundation, especially one as thick and high coverage as this one. I also used a different concealer today. Yesterday I used my Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer, which is a super high coverage concealer. It's a little bit of a thicker formula, and I just think it didn't work well with this. And today I used my Maybelline Fit Me concealer, which is a lot more lightweight. It is less coverage, but with having such a high coverage foundation, I felt that this would work well with it, and so far it does. I'm going to zoom you guys in a little bit closer here so you can see what my skin is looking like directly after applying this foundation. So here is a more close-up look of this foundation. I do still think that overall this foundation emphasizes my pores, but it's much, much better today than it was yesterday. Considering that this is so high coverage, currently it is not looking cakey. It looks really smooth. It is already slightly settling into my smile lines and my other fine lines on my forehead. And now that I'm looking at it, it's starting to do that weird thing in my pores around my nose. I don't know if you can see it, but right around my nose area, it's kind of doing the same thing that it was yesterday. It just looks like it's not in my pores. So I can see a bunch of dots. I'm guessing if it's already starting to do that again, that's not going to get any better throughout the day. I also wanted to mention that you can feel this foundation on your face. It's definitely not a lightweight foundation. You're going to feel this foundation while you're wearing it. So I'm just going to wear this foundation for a few hours, and if it gets worse in the next few hours, then I'm just going to take it off, but I'll be sure to check in with you guys first and just let you know if using a different primer and concealer made a difference with it today or not. So I'll check in with you guys in a few hours. It's only been an hour. It's 12:45, a little more than an hour. And I'm already ready to take this off. It's just so thick and heavy, and it's starting to separate all around here, and it's just cakey and bleh. I genuinely feel very disappointed because I had such high hopes for this foundation. It is marketed as makeup for film and photography, and I do think that it would look really, really pretty in photography, but this is definitely not something that you could wear all day. I do think I could use this for photo shoots or possibly on a client that has a lot of acne or scarring. This could be used as like a spot concealer. I'm also going to try mixing this in with other foundations where I like the formula, but I maybe want a little bit more coverage, or because this one is so light, I could use it just to lighten other foundations and add a little extra coverage as well. But on its own, it's just not doing it for me. Heck no. Heck no. Thanks for sticking with me through this crazy little journey of Dermacol, and I'll see you guys next week.